Hello everyone, this is Shikha Kashyap from Syntelli Solutions, and before we get on to the details of the real demo for TIBCO Spotfire and Apache Drill, I wanted to give you a background for the business use case that we have set up for today's webinar. So as a part of demo, I'll be wearing the hat of a marketing director for a large national restaurant chain, and we have started to get the social media data, and it has come to our attention that the ratings are going down on the popular sites like Yelp and Google. As we all know, the social media ratings can impact our business, and we have to take action for the same, somehow to boost our ratings. So the approach we're going to be taking is to influence the influencers, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. Let me talk about the constraint that we have. At this point, the team that we have for marketing analysts, they are very well versed with basic SQL knowledge. Unfortunately, we do not have a large IT department to support us, and we don't have sophisticated data scientists within the team. So typically, when we get the social media data, it takes a lot of time to do the modeling, and honestly, the team just knows how to do the SQL queries at this point. The tools that we have deployed within in-house are TIBCO, Spotfire, and Apache Drill, and we're going to see how they can make our lives easier by going down to the social media data and analyzing it. There are two KPIs that we'll be tracking. These are our major measures that we calculate within our business. The first one being is the Net Promoter Score, NPS. As most of you would know, that NPS indicates how likely a customer is going to promote or refer our restaurant to other users. And the other one is MVC, Most Valued Customers. MVC is based on the reviews rank that users are doing on the social media, and the reviews rank is a reflection of the quality and the helpfulness of their reviews as judged by other users on the social media. So these are the users that we want to influence. So the question that was asked within the company was, if I have a limited marketing budget and if I have to give the coupons for my restaurant to a particular customer segment, who should I target for? It should be the most profitable customers, or should it be the most frequent customers, or should I pass on those coupons to social media influencers? And as a problem to begin with was our sagging ratings on the social media websites, we decided to get on to the social media influencers. To further drill down for social media influencers, there are three attributes that we look for, and they come with MVC. The first one is I want the users who are very active on social media. They don't hesitate to go on the social media or and rate a restaurant. And their ratings, the reviews that they're giving on the social media, they've been helpful to other users within the system. So they have a higher reviewing ranking within the system. The other part that we have to look is I want to pass on the coupons to the customers who are most likely to give the positive ratings. So I want to have the happy people coming to my restaurants, and they should give me 8 or a 9 or a rating of 5, so that my ratings overall should increase within my social media presence. So that's the idea for doing the customer segmentation, and we'll see how Spotfire and Drill can help us achieve that. A little background on our technical data, what systems do we have? Traditionally, we had the point-of-sale system and the data warehouse on the standard SQL environments. And as I mentioned, we have used Spotfire heavily to connect with POS and the EDWs to do the analysis and create our dashboards. And recently, we have started to get the social media data as well. We have also started to do online surveys with our customers. And the social media and the survey data typically comes in a JSON format for us. So we have a 3-node MapR cluster running, and all the JSON files are being put in the Hadoop cluster. And what we have also done is offloaded EDW to push some customer data into Hive. And we're going to see how Apache Drill on MapR cluster can help us analyze and mash up the various data sources in the demo. I'll have the data coming in from the survey, the social media, and some of the data coming from Hive. And we're going to see how easy Spotfire and Apache Drill combination can make it work. I do want to mention that it's not necessary for Apache Drill to be running on Hadoop cluster. It's the large volume of data that we have. We have the drill running on the cluster at this point. So this is the high-level demo flow that we'll be showing you. We're going to establish our baseline KPIs in terms of how's my NPS looking at this point. And after that, I'm going to create the customer segment, basically influencing the influencers within the social media users. And then we're going to pretend that the campaign is run on these users and they have come to our restaurants and we have done a new survey. And we're going to load the data back into the cluster and load the data back into Spotfire to review the new KPIs. So that's the high level of the demo that we have today. Without much further delay, I'm going to pass on to the JSON file that we get. As we all know, the JSON file is pretty semi-structured, and the traditional SQL engines are very much based on the fixed schema. And that means that all the rows within that data set for the fixed schema should have the same schema associated with it. Whereas in the social media or the JSON files, it's not necessary for having every single row to have the same schema. So the schema is not fixed. It's created on the fly. It's right there. I have name value pairs right here. The challenge for us is that the file that we got is not only a key value pair, it also has nested JSON in it. So I have multiple levels of JSON data. So I have business IDs and then attributes, and then within attributes I have good for, and then so on and so forth. So if I had to analyze this data with my traditional BI tools, I have to model it. And typically what IT has done is created a model around these JSONs. They have done the massaging and then put this data in a more structured manner for my BI tools like Spotfire to connect and start giving it to the business analyst to start analyzing the data. It obviously takes time. IT doesn't have time to maintain the schema. The social media schema keeps on changing. It's very complex and it's very much schema driven. The ETL processes are very much schema driven. What we are looking for is rapid data exploration. What can I do as soon as I get this JSON? I can pass it on to my marketing analyst team so that they can start finding business insights from this data set. So that's where Drill comes into the picture. So this is the Drill Explorer that we have installed, and this is the ODBC connector that I have installed within the cluster. As you can see, this gives me the full set of the data on this. I can have HBase, I can have Hive, I can have MapR data, and the same file that I showed you in a JSON format, you can look at it all the JSON files are under the folder business IDs. These are all the JSON files which are coming in from my different social media websites. So what Drill is able to do is to provide schema on the fly. As you can see, I just selected the New York restaurant JSON, and it showed me the tabular format of the data, which is great. I can start making sense of this data. I'm used to seeing the data in this format. What I can also do is actually run a query on it, the same way I'm so used to running the query within the SQL systems. So as you can see, I am trying to do the group by. I'm trying to see what is the count of cuisine within my data set for New York. So I'm going to run that query, and here, this is a very simple query, and most of the analysts are very much aware of it. What I can also do with Apache Drill is I can run the query on the folder level itself. So what Apache Drill is going to do is going to run the query on the full collection of JSON objects under that folder. And I can get very quickly the counts of cuisines that I'm looking for. So I kind of have an idea what is the data set that has been provided to me. So this is the first step, and typically the analysts will do that, and after that, they will have to create some kind of the model that we need to do, and I can create the views on top of these JSON files, which can then be further leveraged by the Spotfire to connect to the JSON data. So moving on, I'm going to get on to Spotfire, and the first step obviously is to add the data table. So Spotfire provides the connection to more than 50 data sources. As you can see, all major data sources are there. For Apache Drill, I'm going to use the ODBC data driver, collect the DSN associated with it, and it's going to absolutely show me the views that I have access to. So right now, I'm just going to select the business view, and I'm going to read the data from it. If I want, I can absolutely write my custom SQL over here, and I can actually do the joins between, let's say, business view and the survey view if I want. So all these things are possible, and on this screen, if I want, I can do any kind of transformations as well if I want to do it on the data. So let's see, let's read the data within Spotfire and start analyzing the data within the visualization tool. Now, as you can see, the data is being fetched from Apache Drill from the cluster right now. Spotfire also has a wonderful feature called as a recommended visualization, and it quickly jumpstarts the building of dashboard process. So if I'm going to, as I'm going to select the attributes on the left-hand side, Spotfire is going to give me the recommended visualization that it thinks is most appropriate for the selected data. So let's go and let's add this simple data set over here. We have cuisine, let's do number of reviews, and let's do state. So as you can see, variety of visualizations it's showing me. I kind of like this, and let's see what other choices can I have. This one looks good to me. I'm going to add this one. So very quickly, I have started to build my dashboard, and I have started to do the analytics on top of it. So let's do a couple of changes over here very quickly, and instead of sum of reviews, I can do, let's say, music on top of it. So as you can see, this is the same data set as you're seeing in this cross table, the counts that we saw. So Over here, it's showing me within New York, I have most of the restaurants are Chinese, Italian, Mexican, and the size of these sectors are by the number of reviews that we have. What I can do is I can create the detailed visualization as well on it to do further analysis. So let's very quickly get this. Over here, Spotfire is very powerful in terms of getting the large amounts of data and providing visualizations on top of it. So let's quickly do this and click on some properties right here to make it better. Labels, and I'm going to do the percentage, and on the value axis I can do the zoom sliders if I want as well. So what it does, I just now created a detailed visualization. I can select certain set of data and the data will start appearing on this side right away. Well, the number of reviews are looking not too good. We can take a look right here. Okay, so I guess they were zoomed in. So this slider makes it so much easier because I'm able to see within the state what's the ambience and how are the restaurants distributed among them with the ratings. I want to talk about this particular visualization as well, and if you remember, we had done the very similar query in SQL on the same thing. I'm going to run it one more time so that we can tie the numbers very fast. So, as you can see, this was a query done by Drill Explorer, and the same numbers are completely matching with the Spotfire results that we have. So let me see what, after building this visualization, let me see what the team has provided me. This is a dashboard that they have provided me, and as you can see, we have a nice little cover page talking a little bit about us, that we are an Italian restaurant at different locations. They have provided the nice menu and navigation for us. I can click on this, or I can select the pages from the top. So the first one is the Geo Analytics from Spotfire. Again, very powerful feature from Spotfire. The business data, the JSON data for the New York, as I showed you, it can be very easily mapped on the Spotfire. So this particular map is showing, this particular dashboard is showing that we have 3 restaurants, New York, Chicago, and Seattle. And the stars is us, basically. And the color on this is telling me the rating as I have on the social media. So it seems like my New York one is green, Chicago is good, but Seattle, that's where the problem is. This dashboard is also telling me about my competitors around me, what are their ratings around it. And the size of the marker over here is telling me the number of reviews people are giving for that particular restaurant. What I can also do is I can create the detailed visualization on top of it as well, and I can also get the details on demand. So details on demand is I may be showing only portions of the data within my dashboard, but if I want to see the level 0 data, the actual raw data, Spotfire can provide you that. So as you can see, I can select multiple set of data over here, and all the reviews will start showing up on this side. Very, very easy to do. Quickly, I can look at the reviews which are happening. Let's try to also look at the filter panel. By default, based on your data table, I can have my filter panel created, and I'm just going to look at my data set, my restaurant. So let's see this particular data set, and let's see what is Seattle is getting. So this is the ratings data that we got, or the reviews that we got. This JSON data is completely separate from the data that I'm showing on the maps, but I can tie it with the business ID, and you can see the reviews are not really good for me. And the number of reviews are also not many. That's also a factor. Maybe I don't have a lot of people, a lot of traffic coming to this particular restaurant. So let's try to add the survey data as well. Let's see the survey that we did. What are people talking about it? I'm going to add the data for survey. And this is the other data set I get, and it could be sitting in completely different data source, and right now we have it sitting in Hive. I'm going to have the joining of the two tables. I have the left data table as business, and on the top right I'm going to select the survey one, and they are joined with the business IDs. So quickly, let's get the data in here. And without going into the recommended visualization, let's try to create a detailed visualization, and let's say a bar chart again. And I'm going to pick up the survey data that I just picked up. So very quickly, as soon as I'm going to pick this data, it should give me the set of the data set on this side. So the team already has the NPS dashboard built for me. This is the same survey file that I had. And as you can see, the current NPS that is sitting for my restaurant is 75%, very low. And when we calculate the NPS, there is anybody who is giving me the review score of a 9 or a 10 is a promoter, and anybody who is giving me a score of under 6 is a detractor, and 7 and 8 are pretty passive scores. They don't affect my rating on that. So I can analyze the data further down in terms of food. I have 78%, location is 74%, and then the service is a problem. As you can see, very quickly it showed me it's only 69%. So what do I do with it? Probably these are all the promoters that we have, and I want to see that what is the percentage of the detractors and the passive users within the user data set that we got. So I can select and filter out the population. And as you can see that I have a lot of passives in here. And there is an opportunity for me to move these passive users over to become promoters. So going further to the next dashboard that we have, we analyzed the data from the user data set, users from the data site websites like Yelp and Urban Spoons, and there we calculated the most valuable customers. And as you can imagine, the most valuable customers, as we mentioned, they are giving the most reviews, most helpful reviews. And this is the cross table that we created and sorted it with the MVC score. Very easy to do. There's a calculation column that we have added over here to calculate this. I can quickly show you that. On this side, oops, not on there, but let's do the filtering on this. The other important thing that this particular MVC is showing me is that the average rating for that user, for example, this user has a very high MVC score. So here you see the formula is showing up, but typically this person doesn't give a very good rating. His average rating for a restaurant is typically 3. As compared to this user, he gives probably a better rating to the users. So very easily from this list, from this customer segmentation that we have done, I can filter out all the users who are giving me the average rating of a 3 or a 4. I can take it out. And after having said this, I can, as soon as I have this customer segmentation list, I can export the data to a file, run it through my campaign manager, and everything can be good. Just as you know, we pretend that the campaign was run and we did the new survey, and we got the new results from the survey back. Putting the data into MapR cluster is very easy. I can just drag and drop the files based on the NFS and come onto my NPS dashboard and just do the reload the data for the survey. So I can just say refresh the data for survey, and voila. I didn't have to do anything. It just changed, and I can look at my service scores as well. They have come to 82%. Definitely whatever we did within the restaurant helped our ratings and improved our NPS scores. So I think I covered most of the things within the demo, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.